to the ceiling. And you know what's going to happen any minute now, don't you? That's right. They're all going to come down. It's CBTV.
Hello and welcome to CBTV. Today we're covering an unusual event in the sporting calendar. It's an event which has all the drama of darts, the wonder of Wimbledon, the brilliance of bowls and the atmosphere of an FA Cup final. More of that event later, but first it's back to Aneka and Paul in the studio.
Hello! Drama of bowls. Welcome to a special half-term Shrove Tuesday edition of CBTV. Very newsy hot seat today, and a dog that's trying to eat his pancake, and a really unusual headliner of the week, who, as you'll see, as never misses a trick.
But before you start,
A trick.
But before you start, I've got something very important to ask Paul. Paul, what year were you born?
Sorry, Annie. Classified Information Official Secrets Act Section 2, you know, could get in trouble with the government telling you things like that.
I'll give you a bit of pancake if you tell me.
OK. I'll give it before.
The snake! You're a snake!
What, snake? Rat?
No, I'm not being rude. You see, he was born in the Chinese year of the snake, and tomorrow is the Chinese New Year, the year of the ox. It's thought there are about 150,000 Chinese people currently living in the United Kingdom, and most will be celebrating the New Year tomorrow. But a recent government report concluded that of all Britain's ethnic minorities, the Chinese are often the most isolated because of language difficulties. Well, it's hoped that most second-generation Chinese, though, will become more integrated into the Chinese way of life, as I found out when I met the Wan family. The East India Dock Road in the East End of London. It's 2:30 on Friday afternoon, and the Wan family are busy preparing the food that people come from miles around to eat each evening. But for the three Wan sisters, working in the family restaurant is only part of their lives. They're actually rather special, because they're also members of the pop group Zingari.
Okay, take strong.
Halcyon Days is the group's second single. Sue, Joyce and Tish were born and bred in London and think of themselves as Cantonese cockneys.
I think us three have broken the barrier, really. I mean, it's usually a normal circle for the Chinese. Grow up, get a job and buy a house and, you know, a normal life. And we just...
That's in Britain.
Yeah, this is in Britain. But, I mean, we've really changed that, really. I mean, we're the first in the family tree to actually be singing. And, you know, we enjoy it.
Hello there, Dave, Gary, other two members of the group. Tish on the synth. I've always wanted to have a go at this. Who's unplugged it? Joy, come over. You must be about the only Chinese pop group around at the moment.
Yes, I'm afraid we are, yeah.
Don't sound so horrible. How did you get together as a group?
Well, we saw an ad in the Melody Maker, and we rang it up, and we come across Gary and David, and we went to see them, and we went to the rehearsal rooms, and they sort of went, and they looked at us, and, you know, we were all sort of, you know, happy and cheerful, and went in, and they were quite surprised, really, because they weren't expecting 3 Chinese girls going in.
What
So
about
nice.
the actual the work you do as a group? Who writes the songs?
I think mainly it's Gary that writes the sort of lyrics and that, but we all sort of help in. It's sort of.
And the music, is it going to be traditional Chinese music anywhere along the line? Or are you going out to be quite different?
Well, our music's really quite westernised, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Now, what about image? You're a very close family, and yet you usually imagine that a Chinese family would be slightly more reserved.
Well, I mean, the image wasn't really made up. We just naturally went into it, really. We haven't really, you know, followed any fashion. We just wear what we want, really, whatever comes into mind. And it looks good anyway.
And how do your parents react to that?
Well, at first they were a bit edgy about it, you know, because a lot of Chinese people don't really dress like we do. And, yeah, well, they preferred us to, you know, dress like in pretty dresses and things like that. So they were quite shocked, really, at first, but now they're quite used to it.
You're the fabulous ones. I wanted to meet you ever since I read the description that your musical style was supposed to be a cross between Duran Duran meets Fu Manchu.
Oh, no.
I read that. Is that right? No. I thought that my readers, who are both Chinese speaking and English language speaking, because I write for 2 newspapers in Hong Kong. Your father knows my Chinese language paper, the Dongfeng Yapo, Oriental Daily News. And it seemed that it was a good time to write about what, as far as I know, is the first Chinese pop group. And the young people in Hong Kong are very interested in pop music, of course. I'm sure they'd love to see you one day. Have you ever played to a Chinese audience?
Once. That was in Manchester.
Yes.
In
Manchester for the New Year, wasn't it,
Last year?
Yeah, we was
Was
quite
it sort of
surprised how they reacted to us because we thought they weren't going to react at all. But it was mainly the younger kids that was really sort of screaming at us.
Was it
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
That's super.
I think it was the China president there or something like
Yes.
that.
President of the Chinese Association.
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah.
Yes.
Looked like Mao Zedong.
Oh, you actually had someone from China
I
there?
think it was. And,
Yes.
but
Oh, yes, last year they had a visit from
Yeah.
the mayor of Canton.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I think it was the younger generation that was more interested, really, because the older generation sort of looked and stared and
I think we've got our father's determination to be successful. I mean, like he's successful owning a restaurant, it's his now. He's not working for anyone else but for himself and the family. And we've got that determination for us to be successful in our business as well. All Chinese people do work very hard. They work very, very hard and have a lot of determination in them. If they want something, they work hard for it. And if they work hard for it, they'll get what they want.
Great lyrics, eh? The Charlie Chan trio there. Trish, Joy,